The Letter Under the Floorboards. The summer of 1946 still lived in the walls of Evelyn Rosewood's old cottage. It whispered through the creaking floorboards, drifted in with the scent of faded rose petals, and slept in the dust that collected on the lace curtains. The war was over, the country was healing, and Evelyn, now in her 80s, had long stopped waiting for answers. But sometimes, in the quietest hours of the morning, she would remember the boy who painted her sky with promises and disappeared before the ink could dry. Decades earlier, in the golden haze of July 1946, Evelyn was a bright-eyed girl of 19, living with her aunt in the seaside town of Ashwell-on-Sea. The war had just ended. Soldiers were returning, and the country was trying to remember what it meant to dance, to kiss, to smile without feeling guilty. Ashwell was the kind of town where bicycles outnumbered cars. The postman knew everyone's tea preference, and the pier came alive with laughter every Saturday night. That was where Evelyn met Thomas Everhart. A returning soldier with scuffed boots, clever eyes, and a laugh that made you forget what you were saying. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't the type to boast, but he listened. And when he looked at Evelyn, it was as if she were the only thing still standing in the world. They spent the summer as if it were borrowed time, picnics under sycamore trees, letters passed in library books, dances in the rain when the bandstand had already packed up. Thomas told her stories of places she'd only read about: Italy, France, deserts that glittered at night, and promised that one day they'd see it all together. He carried a sketchbook. He drew her once, secretly, while she was reading. When he showed her, she laughed and said, "You've made me look like someone who matters." He replied, "You are someone who matters." On the final day of August, Thomas told her he had to leave again just for a short time. There was a job offer in London, temporary, a few weeks, maybe months. He promised to write. He kissed her forehead, and he was gone. Evelyn waited. Autumn came, no letters. Winter, nothing. By spring, she searched every post office in vain. His sketchbook, left behind in her drawer, was the only proof she hadn't dreamed him. People said, maybe he found someone else. Maybe he changed his mind. Maybe he didn't survive London after all. But Evelyn never believed he would vanish without a word. Still, life went on. She taught school, learned to bake the perfect scones, and never married. She stayed in the same cottage, just in case. 70 years later, Evelyn's grandniece Clara moved in for the summer to help tidy up the house. Evelyn was slowing down and the cottage needed repairs. One afternoon, while replacing loose floorboards in the old reading room, Clara found something wedged deep in the cracks. A letter, yellowed, brittle, but sealed. It was addressed to Miss Evelyn Rosewood, Wild Heather Cottage, Ashwell-on-Sea, and it was signed, Thomas. Clara rushed into the kitchen, breathless. Evelyn stared at the letter for a long time before opening it with trembling fingers. It read, "My darling Evelyn, if this reaches you, it means the war has ended and I've returned to the place I belong, your heart. They're sending me to France for one last assignment, and I don't know what awaits, but if fate is kind, I'll find my way back to Ashwell and to you. If I don't know this, you gave me the only summer I ever truly lived. I carry your smile with me into every sunrise. If I return, I will find you, I promise. And if I don't look under the floorboards, I've hidden my final letter there where our laughter still lives. Yours, in this life and the next, Thomas." Evelyn cried like the sea had returned to her doorstep, but her tears weren't of sorrow. They were the tears of a promise finally kept. The next morning, Clara found something else behind an old bookshelf, a dusty suitcase. Inside, wrapped in wool and string, was a small book, Thomas's sketchbook. And in the back, a final drawing. 2 people, older, sitting on a bench under a tree in Ashwell-on-Sea. The woman had Evelyn's eyes. The man had Thomas's hands. And beneath it he had written, "Some day, the world will slow down just enough, and I will find you again." They never found out what happened to Thomas, but in that moment Evelyn felt he had returned. In the letter, in the drawing, and in the warm light spilling across the floorboards where he once stood. If you enjoyed this story and felt even a flicker of magic in your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Tinkles and Tales. We share captivating stories like this every single day, full of warmth, wonder, nostalgia, and charm. Subscribing ensures you never miss a moment of the magic, so go ahead, tap that subscribe button and let us become your daily escape into the world of beautiful storytelling.